Are you serious? I understand, but you read the transcript, Senator Cruz. You saw the video. I mean, he had to be impeached. We only got 48% of the Senate vote? Well, how much did we need? You've got to be kidding me. Fine, he can come back. Yes, sir, I understand it's not my decision. Thank you. Goodbye, Senator Cruz. Okay, here's what happened. UNC Student Television voted to impeach Jared as our producer after his embezzlement, but we were about 20% short on votes to actually get him removed. And he has everyone in his pocket, so please welcome back Jared Warner to the team.
Well, it's great to be back, Ben. I told you it was a perfect video. Total exoneration.
Hello and welcome to On the Hill.
A UNC student television production.
I'm Ben Ketchum.
And I'm Jared Warner, here to bring you news
On the Hill.
Somebody released bed bugs into the dressing room of a Pennsylvania Walmart, causing an infestation so bad it required professional extermination. Jeez, just another example of humans interfering with animals' natural habitats.
Here's a more local story. A North Carolina dog recently gave birth to a green puppy, which is great because now I don't have to dye my dog for St. Patrick's Day. In other news, the TSA confiscated a record 4,432 guns from airports last year. This continues a troubling and surprising trend of government agencies actually doing their jobs well. Looking at you next, ICE.
Yes, highest gun numbers ever. USA, USA.
Oh, God, I wish you were still fired.
Should have paid off the Senate then, bud. Anyway, the FDA recently told Purell to stop claiming that its hand sanitizer could prevent Ebola, causing concerned parents to ask, okay, but it still is effective against measles, right?
West Virginia lawmakers recently voted to allow foster care agencies to turn away LGBTQ kids and parents. That's despicable, said former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory, worrying that he has lost the current record for the worst law ever.
The government recently seized almost $500,000 worth of fake Uggs and Air Jordans from a North Carolina flea market. In unrelated news, Governor Roy Cooper has recently been spotted with a completely new style.
Rapper Cardi B tweeted recently that she would like to run for Congress. This might sound crazy, but it's not as crazy as some of the other people who are actually running now. Take, for example, right-wing conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer, who, according to Wikipedia, has been banned from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Medium, GoFundMe, Venmo, MGM Resorts, PayPal, Uber, and Uber Eats. She also once changed herself to the headquarters of Twitter in an act of protest, but she did it so incompetently that employees were free to enter and exit the building as they chose. She also threatened to pee on herself and eventually begged the law enforcement to come and cut her down off the door.
Okay, Loomer.
Another candidate is far-right judge and notable accused pedophile Roy Moore, who recently condemned Alabama Senator Doug Jones as, quote, an embarrassment to our state after his vote to remove the impeached president from office, which is something that Moore, who was removed twice from the Alabama Supreme Court, completely fails to see the irony in.
Okay, Groomer. In related news, primary season is in full swing in North Carolina, so we thought that we would take the streets and test the political pulse of the campus community. I joined our resident political science correspondent, Krista Nichols, in the field for a new segment that we're calling On the Capitol Hill. Take a look. Waiting here, it's really awkward because we were afraid to talk to people. And also everyone has headphones on, so that makes it even more complicated. Another person with headphones? We should just do a headphone counter at this point. Literally everybody has headphones on? Are you planning to watch the debate tonight?
No.
Where the debate is being held tonight?
No, I do not.
Do you have a guess where it's being held tonight?
Not Not a clue.
Did you know there was a debate tonight?
No.
Do you know where the debate is tonight?
Absolutely no clue.
What if I told you it was in Texas?
Wow.
It's actually in Nevada.
Jeez.
Hey, do you know who any of these people are? Fair. I'll show you just a couple pictures and see if you recognize them.
Yes.
So that is, can you say his last name?
Buttigieg. Buttigieg?
And are you 100% sure that's how you pronounce it?
No, but we'll see.
And can you spot the difference between that picture and the last one I showed you?
Do it again. One more time. No.
Yeah, they're the same picture. Do you know who any of these three people are?
No.
What if I told you they all ran for president this year?
Wouldn't know.
Do you have a candidate you're supporting right now?
I really like Andrew Yang.
You know he dropped out, right?
Fuck.
And do you know who that is?
Mike Bloomberg.
And what does Bloomberg stand for?
I've seen a lot of his ads on YouTube for like coal and natural gas. Climate change, they make it worse. So
What's his campaign slogan?
I have no idea.
Do you know any of the campaign slogans?
No.
These people are who also ran for president.
Couldn't tell you. That guy looks like my Little League baseball coach.
That's Representative Eric Swalwell.
Well, he's probably not my Little League baseball coach then.
Are you committing to vote for whoever the nominee is?
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go.
Nah, kind of looks like my grandfather, but he's not that either.
Do you know anything that Mayor Pete actually stands for?
Couple very vague policies, but nothing really specific, no.
What's his campaign slogan?
I'm not sure.
I think it's just Pete for America, actually, which is not much of a slogan, it's just like a thing. Do you have a backup?
I like Buttigieg, yeah.
And can you tell me something that he stands for?
Absolutely nothing.
Krista and Jared, thank you for whatever that was, and for reminding us that we are all living in a nightmare. In related news, American life expectancy has risen for the first time in 4 years. Great, now we have to spend even longer on this hellscape. But that doesn't factor in that the fact that the world is on fire, Iowa will soon be a coastal state, and UNC basketball has somehow forgot how to win games. Nothing matters anymore.
Well, here's a story that might actually cheer you up. An 100-year-old giant tortoise recently almost single-handedly restored the tortoise population at Galapagos National Park using behavior that experts have called womanizing and playboy. Now, this tortoise may have been slow, but he sure wasn't steady. At least we now know what Mitch McConnell's been up to while letting the Senate turn into a cover-up machine.
Hey, that's not very fair. Mitch looks more like a turkey. You know, Mitch McGobble.
The Trump administration is ending key environmental protections for streams and wetlands in a move that's being called a win for developers and for farmers, but a loss for our environment, our planet, and our future. These regulations are about as loose as Mitch McConnell's neck.
Yeah, I'm not done with you yet, you evil son of a Mitch.
On his third day as a NASA intern, 17-year-old Wolf Cukier discovered a planet that looks strikingly similar to Tatooine from Star Wars. In related news, I recently found a sock that was behind my dryer, so we've both had good weeks.
Speaking of people who recently had a good week, the Oscars just happened. Here to catch us up on everything that went down at the big event, please welcome one of our head writers, Nicole.
Oscars review in 30 seconds 2020. Breaking news, they still hate women. In protest, all of the female guests decided to dress terribly, including Laura Dern, who cosplayed as a lampshade. Best actor went to Joaquin Phoenix for playing Bryndio. Greta Gerwig, I don't think she directed anything. On the bright side, there are some wins for people of color. Parasite won Best Picture, despite no one watching it because they were too lazy to read subtitles. And The Thor Guy won Best Adapted Screenplay for his Nazi comedy. And I'm not even going to read you all the other names because I could have predicted them in 2010. Thank you.
A Christian activist wants to launch a class action lawsuit against the NFL for its recent halftime show featuring Shakira and J-Lo because it, quote, endangered his eternal soul because of the outfits and the dancing.
It made him horny.
In climate news, dropping temperatures in Florida have been known to cause lizards to become so lethargic that they actually fall out of trees. The National Weather Service has been warning everybody in the Sunshine State to be on the lookout for these so-called lizard blizzards, or as Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott likes to call it, dropping in to check in on my constituents.
Another Florida story. Police in Lake Worth Beach were called to a woman's home by her neighbors after it sounded like she was in a lot of danger. But it turned out when the police arrived at the scene, it was just a very convincing parrot named Rambo. The parrot was saying things like, "Help me, let me go, oh, oh, oh." Yeah, I just don't understand how that got mixed up.
Well, speaking of another big mix-up, Ben & Jerry's released a new ice cream flavor in time for Valentine's Day this year. Netflix and Chilled. Chilled spelled for some reason with 3 L's. Anyway, it's perfect for their target audience, single girls who want to pretend their pint is their date.
Now, Jared, I have to ask, is it nut flavored? Nah, I'm just kidding. It tastes like your date Ubering home at 3 a.m., even though neither of you have plans the next morning. Emily, please call me back.
A Kansas man recently asked a judge to allow him to sword fight his ex-wife over a tax and custody dispute. Honestly, it's almost refreshing that violent men are now asking the courts for permission before they murder their wives.
A Drexel University professor reportedly used grant money on strippers, sports bars, and iTunes. I gotta say, this is a really disappointing misappropriation of funds. I mean, really, iTunes? Come on, iTunes. What is this, 2007? It's pathetic.
Well, that's all we have time for today.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Hill. Don't worry, folks. I'm gonna get him fired again. Stay tuned.